So it's going live. You're live. I'm live. All right. What am I see now? But then I wouldn't even know if anybody's seen me. Where's your thing now? Um. So I am apparently live. So we'll do a test run. Hello, everybody. This is a test run. If you're seeing us, I'm doing a live with a friend of mine, Baxter Lewis, man of God. And we're just doing a live test run because we're going to have a meeting tomorrow, all being well. So, welcome again to the Stephen Williams Show. And I want to see Mr. Lewis. Mr. Lewis, please show yourself. Yeah. So, what do you think are affecting people mostly these days in light of current events, all that is happening? What do you think are the major concerns that we need to talk about and encourage people? Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, and if it's safe and effective is too concerned. And I noticed I've been seeing a few discussions, well, a few news items, where the fact is millions are getting the vaccines and there's no adverse reactions. But there are also a few persons are having some serious adverse reactions, like some are going totally numb, some can't walk. I mean, some of them have also been recovering nicely, but there's also those who are having taken time to get over this injury or this adverse reaction to this vaccine. So we're not going to be telling people not to take it or to take it. We will remain neutral for the sake of not getting censored. You have your opinion, I have my personal opinion. But we're not here to tell people don't take it or to take it. I believe, as somebody said today, it's best to do your research. Look at the pros and cons. Don't just, be in the dark, because when you take this thing, it is at your own risk. There's no liability that the companies are accepting. There's no indemnity. I mean, they are indemnified against lawsuits if there's adverse reaction. So we have got to bear that in mind. So we're not saying don't take, and we're not saying to take. We're not here to advise. We're just here to talk about the reality of what is happening and how it's affecting us. Because beyond just adverse reactions with the lockdown, that also has its downside too. We must never forget that people are getting overweight. There are more arguments in families because they're spending more time together. So there are separation, there are divorce. There's people are losing jobs. There's financial problems. People's business space are locking down. So there's a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, how it's been handled. So it's a whole bottomless pit of argument over what's happening. I have to laugh. I have to laugh at that one because people marry because they love each other. So I don't see a problem in seeing each other every day. Right now, I haven't worked for the past 4 years, and I don't find that a problem with me and my wife. As a matter of fact, we used to have more problems when we used to go to work. Personally, we used to have more arguments over money and da 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 because the bills, both of you working and the bills not being, the money not stretching. So now that we're not working, I find us to be more at peace, and I have no problem seeing my kids every day, watching them grow. I have no problem spending time by myself in my room, and sometimes we come together, we worship, we talk, we have games, we go for drive out. Almost every day I take them for ice cream and drive out and play some basketball in the backyard. So we have to do things that makes the family happy. Yeah. And it's a good question, and I like this question. The thing about it, it's not just about relying on God. We must rely on God, but God has given us wisdom to make proper decisions. If we make proper decisions financially, it will be well with us. If we make terrible decisions, it will come back to bite us and to haunt us. So, one of the reasons why I'm able to be in the position that I'm in today, not working and still living comfortably, it's because of the financial decisions I've made in the past. And today it is paying dividends. So people need to understand that what financial decisions you make will impact. For instance, God's people are told in the Bible, I think it's Proverbs 22:7. I'm not 100% sure. Don't hold me on that. It says that the rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is a slave to the lender. So that's a principle that I try to live by. If you take on too much borrowing, too much debt, you're going to be having a problem with paying those debts when the money has decreased. So it's best to, as much as possible, have certain philosophy that you abide by. If I can't pay cash, I cannot afford it. Like right now, I would love to drive the nicest vehicle and impress everybody. Oh, look what Stephen is driving. I want to feel good about myself. I want to impress people. But yeah, exactly. But when I look at my budget, I cannot afford a $1,200 mortgage for a car. I cannot even afford a 500 mortgage for a car. That would take away some of my ice cream then. So what I do, I make sure whatever car I can afford cash, if it's a little old beater, I buy the little old beater until God bless me with something better. So I try to pay cash for what I have. If I have a house, I try to pay down that balance so I own it outright. So all I worry about is the taxes. And that's exactly what I've done. Very, 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 very important. Yes. Well, hmm, yes. Hmm. Hmm. Right. Well, yeah, let me say something about what you just mentioned. If a couple find themselves having financial, they're each operating independently financially, that's a recipe for disaster. And that is why when I used to be in full-time ministry, I make sure any couple come to me that want me to marry them, I always try to give them some counseling before I marry them. That's vital because premarital counseling, one of the topics that you are to go through with a fine-tooth comb is money management. How do you manage the finances in the family? Who is in charge? Are we going to both be in charge? Are we going to say, okay, the lady is in charge or the man is in charge, the husband or the wife? Who is in charge and how do we do it? How do we make financial decisions? So it's a whole, that's a topic in itself. But we have got to make sure that before we enter in a marriage, those things are settled. Don't wait until you're married because after you're married, if that's when you want to, that's bad. So and I got counseling, even though I'm a pastor, I got counseling before I married my wife. Even though I know and I used to counsel people, I went for counseling because you never know it all. Hmm. 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 I want first for us to define maybe a topic. So I would think that this would be a topic like we could say how to thrive financially during a disaster, something like that, you know? Yeah, we're right. So barring a topic, I just want those who are listening now to this test run, join us tomorrow. We have a lot to talk about. We'll make it short and spicy and nice so that, and we plan to do this on an ongoing basis. So you will be getting a lot of resources that you would normally pay thousands of dollars for free, 100% free. We're giving it for those who make themselves available. Yeah. All right, sir. So I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. So where do I cut live now? Where's that? Huh? Yeah, well, where does it say um live chat da da da? You have to give me some direction. I send message M4CM. I see a yellow thing here. That's all I'm seeing. But the screen that I'm seeing, it's not full. Oh, you mean like oh, I thought you meant okay, okay. Yeah, all right. Let me stop. I was also trying to do a screen tape, so let me also do the YouTube. Right, right, right. That's what you're saying. I thought it was live here with me. Um, okay, so right, this I need to get that out of the way. You know, anyway. Your stream will stop right end.